Hi everyone, thanks for coming back to my channel. I'm really happy that you joined me again today. And today we are going to react to a different kind of video. It's going to be how is Claire's still in business? And I'm kind of curious to see what they say because I don't know any context behind this. I just kind of found it on YouTube and I really want to dive in and see what it is.
Claire's is a fashion, accessories, and jewelry store targeted towards young girls and tweens, and has been around since the 1960s. They sell plenty of pink and sparkly and unicorn-themed products, and Claire's feeds into the feminine urge to cover yourself in body glitter and buy a 20-pack of earrings for the bargain.
Okay, but I do like earrings a lot, and I like to go when they have sales, so I'm really hoping that there's not anything really bad in this. Also, do you see that there's like 20 pairs that have like 1 or 2 missing on the bottom? Look at this. There's 19 there. There's only 18 there. I think there's something wrong. Someone's stealing.
$5. Body glitter and buy a 20-pack of earrings for the bargain of $5. When I was younger, in the mid to late 2000s, going to the mall to hang out was one of the favorite pastimes of most of the other girls that I knew. With little money to actually spend and an hour until our parents picked us up, the trip was never complete without a stop into the local Claire's.
I mean, that's like a giant store, not gonna lie. I've never seen a Claire's that big before.
Everything a 5 to 12-year-old girl could want. There's headbands and purses.
Just realized that my face was not in the frame.
It had everything a 5 to 12-year-old girl could want. There's headbands and purses, journals and hair clips, and any kind of jewelry you could think of. And if those earrings on the rack were the cutest pair you just had to buy, but you didn't have your ears pierced to wear them, you were in the right place because Claire's would pierce your ears for you right there in the store, too.
I did get my lobes pierced at Claire's. I've heard a lot of stories where you probably shouldn't go there because they're not really technically professionals, I should say.
In retrospect, though, as fun as it was to try on feather boas and sunglasses until my friends and I got kicked out of the store for not buying anything, Claire's wasn't exactly the accessories haven it marketed itself as. My main memories of my local store included always being tiny and cramped and had every space filled with something shiny to grab your attention, which was not necessarily a good thing. To make the claustrophobia even worse, the store was almost always a mess. There's scarves and handbags laying across the store from their racks, balanced on other displays, or just completely on the floor. When my friends and I, with barely any money to our names, did eventually buy something, the excitement of it would only last until the same BFF necklace we bought broke off of its chain, or our new earrings made our ears turn green.
I've heard stories like that. I haven't heard the whole best friend necklace kind of thing, though. I mean, I never had any troubles with that. I haven't had like a bunch of troubles with them at all.
With such a controversial reputation, I found myself wondering multiple times throughout the years how Claire's was even still in business. I mean, a mess of disorganized accessories in a cramped...
I mean, they are a big company. So, I mean, it's not like they don't have the money for liability.
More than its faulty physical products, though, I think Claire's has gained an even bigger negative reputation among those in the piercing community. Claire's first started offering piercing services in 1978, and since then it's been a common and convenient source for ear piercings. I love this one quote from their website. "Did you know that we have pierced the ears of Olympians, musicians, and actors? We've even pierced their kids, too." As if that adds to their credibility at all. With over 100 million ears pierced since 1978, no wonder we are regarded as the piercing professionals. Yeah, I don't think...
You can't really call yourself piercing professionals. Tattoo parlors are definitely piercing professionals. They're very sterile, they're very precise. They will tell you and walk you through the entire process, which is amazing. And they will not use a gun. They will use this little needle that has like a pointy end and it is hollow in the middle, and that's how I got this one. I got my ears pierced at a tattoo parlor in a college town. It was pretty cheap, like $40. Probably should have been the first red flag. Second red flag should have been that this girl could not stand still. I eventually wanted to take it out. I wanted to take the piercing out and I wanted to swap it for a different one. They didn't go in straight when they pierced it, and so Instead of going straight like this through the ear, I had to go like this. Like, I had to wiggle it around because I could not find the end. Like, I couldn't find the back of where that hole is. But the thing is, I like lost the one that they had on there. At first it was like a circular one, the one that like enveloped the top of the ear. That little ball will come off very easily, and that's why I really recommend having a bar through there. Also, it just looks better, I think. Now I think that because it matches my ring, and it also matches my necklace that I always wear. This time I got it so that it is straight, so that whenever I put a different one in, I can actually flip it out.
Think anyone calls them the piercing professionals, and unfortunately for Claire's, piercing so many people may have only helped run their reputation into the ground. Despite having a very thorough and official 40-minute training session to certify their retail employees as ear piercers, Claire's has become somewhat infamous for being a poor choice for anyone looking for a new ear piercing. I remember always seeing the free ear piercing signs and being a kid and not understanding their fine print marketing tactics, making some piercings crooked or off-center, or causing piercings to become easily infected, with some cases even ending in hospital visits. It seems that even an in-depth piercing training regimen involving piercing a piece of foam can't help Claire's from getting their piercing guns jammed or stuck on their customers' ears and having employees with nails too long to get the job done right.
Oh, jeez.
A piercing gun is a type of piercing tool that, as you might have guessed, sort of resembles a gun and is used by piercers at all the Claire's locations. The draw of the piercing gun is that it's easy to load, usually easy to operate, and pierces quickly without the need for as much piercing knowledge. You can buy your own piercing gun on Amazon for as little as $10 right now. No, the real issue is that many people have with these tools is that they're made for non-professional piercers, i.e. the entirety of the local mall's Claire's staff. Instead of technically piercing through the skin as the name would make you believe, the earrings used to load the gun have blunt backs on them.
Oh, geez.
The bluntness of the earrings forces its way through the skin, making a hole through crushing rather than piercing like a needle. The actual gun itself can't be, or at least probably won't be, properly sterilized between uses, making its risk of causing an infection even higher. Some infections, depending on the case, have even ended some people up in the hospital for treatment. Of course, when filling out the required registry form for new piercings, there are a lot of warnings about potential outcomes and an insistence that Claire's minimum wage employees, surprisingly, do not act in the capacity of medical professionals.
Then why claim that there are professionals on your website?
There's a potential association with hospitals if you get your ears pierced at Claire's. Not a great look for the brand. In recent years, the store has also been under fire for its policy on piercing children, starting at as young as 2 months old. Multiple ex-employees have come forward and stated how upsetting it is to have to pierce the ears of a child that's more than just nervous, but being held down after struggling to get away and voicing their discomfort. What about the makeup? There's a lot to choose from, everything from eyeshadow and blush to those plastic flip phones filled with goopy lip gloss that they still make.
Oh my god, I had one of those.
I don't think most kids born within the last 10 years will even know what the shape is supposed to be, which, even though I just dogged on the style, makes me nostalgic for the poor goopy flip phones that are getting phased out.
What?
With so many colors and variations, how could you go wrong with makeup?
Oh, I like those.
Well, if it had asbestos in it, I guess. In early 2018, the Food and Drug Administration of the US, or FDA, tested a few samples of makeup products from Claire's, and after finding trace amounts of asbestos in the samples, the FDA warned consumers against buying the products, and Claire's took the makeup in question off the shelves. Claire's didn't make the move to recall the products, though, which would be an official request from the store to return the makeup if it was purchased.
There's currently a train going by, so yeah, my entire monitor is shaking, which is great.
You know, since it might have a cancer-causing carcinogen in it. Not only did Claire's not issue a recall, but actually questioned the FDA's findings. After claiming its products were safe, the corporate team said that the FDA's tests showed significant errors, and 2 more products tested positive for asbestos in 2019, and one of her branded makeup sets were among the products.
It's your own product, and you don't even decide to run it through some tests before you put it in to work. Like, I don't understand why you would put your name and your face on something if you haven't done thorough research, thorough testing and everything before you bring it out. Something like makeup is like a huge liability.
Fortunately, JoJo assured everyone that she and her team were taking the situation seriously and were working to get the products off the shelves and refunds issued. But Klairs markets to kids. To so boldly just say, nah guys, our asbestos makeup only maybe had asbestos in it. Stop calling it asbestos makeup. And by the way, the FDA doesn't know what they're talking about. Instead of just doing the right thing is just a bad move. There are currently no legal requirements for any cosmetic manufacturer to test their products for safety, and there's no requirements for those same manufacturers to comply with FDA authority to recall the products. But you're still forgetting that Klairs has so many more products to offer, like pen with fur on top, and tiny infant unicorn toy. I know that these are actually very valid products within the young girl market, even if they're not my thing. It's not uncommon for most stores to source most, if not all, of their items from Chinese manufacturers, though, which most of the time will make them cheap and janky. Jewelry, infamously, will often fall apart upon wearing it. Toys will break into pieces. Nail polish just won't dry. Backpacks and water bottles... Okay, I guess you get the idea.
Have I just been super lucky? All these people are having like so many troubles with their jewelry and stuff, and I must not be buying the same stuff. I don't shop there like a crazy amount, but like the earrings actually don't break very often for me. I don't know if I'm doing something wrong. Or maybe I'm doing something really right. I guess I don't really buy anything else. I bought nail polish once when I was like 10. Oh my gosh, that's weird to say. There were like these glasses that I bought, like the fake glasses, and they haven't broke yet, and I've kind of accidentally thrown stuff on them and they haven't broke, so I think I'm just incredibly lucky.
Klairs made so many bad moves, in fact, that the store eventually filed for bankruptcy in 2018 after accumulating $2.2 billion in debt. The store is crammed full of low-quality merchandise that can't compete with the likes of trendy online fashion players such as ASOS and Boohoo. And can I just ask, how does a business keep operating even after telling the government, hey, I don't have any money left? How does that work? I don't understand.
Yeah.
Since filing for bankruptcy, Klairs seems to continue to try and remain relevant. In the last few years, it's offered officially licensed products from larger brands like Disney and Sanrio, giving a bit of diversity to its products and credibility to its brand. And for Gen Z, there's chokers for your Y2K fashion, trendy toys like Squishmallows, mini brands, and poppets, and makeup sets that are more mature, reminiscent of the makeup that kids might see their favorite influencers use, and that are hopefully asbestos-free. Mall culture in general isn't what it once was in the 1980s when it took off, and it definitely isn't what it was back in the 2000s and 2010s when I would visit Klairs. It's just not as popular for kids to window shop through the mall and laugh at the adult toys in Spencer's anymore, which I think is probably largely due to the overtaking of the digital age and the internet. So maybe Klairs did have a point.
She has a point, though. I can see the point that she's trying to make, though. I do see a lot of stories where Klairs just messed up, like, multiple times. I think it's also due to Klairs not wanting to admit that they are wrong. I know businesses have a huge thing about, like, not wanting to admit something like that, but sometimes you actually gain more respect by saying, hey, that was on us. We're more than willing to refund you for that. I think the biggest thing is not recalling something that has asbestos. Wow, I can't say that word. I think that's one of the biggest things. Like, you didn't even recall it when it was this big of a deal. I think that's a horrible thing to do, you know? Well, that was an interesting video. Things on Reddit, there's a lot of things on Twitter, there's a lot of things, basically every social media platform that you can imagine. There's some kind of horror story of Klairs people getting their earrings infected, or they just got a really bad piercing, or something happened in the process. And It really should have never happened if it was a professional. I'm still really surprised about on their website that they list that there are professionals that pierce. When honestly, even in their disclosure, they say that they are not acting in professional capacity, which is very weird. Why even claim that? I mean, come on, seriously. Claire's, you gotta get back on track. This is just messed up. And also, if something has a cancer-causing substance in your makeup, just recall it. Otherwise, you're gonna have a lot of lawsuits down the road. Just saying. Well, thanks for joining me. I am really appreciative to everyone that tuned in and stayed with me throughout the entire video. I know this was a long one, so I really appreciate you. And like and subscribe this if you did like it. Comment below what you would like to see next. Thank you so much for visiting my channel. And have a great day, guys.